Well done, well done, well done to the team. Big up to everybody. Match reaction for Champions League. Game week 7 of Champions League. And Inter Milan 1, Arsenal 3. That's, if you heard me right, Inter Milan 1, Arsenal 3. And what a professional away win at the San Siro for the Arsenal. Listen, Arsenal go into this game, 7 new changes, to the team. Jesus coming in, Saka, you had Trossard, Heze coming in, Moreno coming in, Mosquera. So the people that came, Mosquera, Miles, Lewis, Skelly, Moreno, Eze, Trossard, and Jesus. And that was the seven changes from the last game, which, guys, I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to talk about, mate. You know what I mean? But listen, this was an absolute professional win by the Arsenal. What I liked about the game, especially in the first half, people, what I liked about the game is that I was on the phone with my mate and we were saying, listen, look, we're gonna qualify anyway, yeah. And I'm glad that he made those changes. Didn't think he needed to bring on certain players on, but I'll get into that in a minute. But look, we went into that game and I noticed that we was playing the ball a little bit quicker, than moving the ball quicker, passing it quicker, getting it forward quicker. And I thought, yeah, that's right. And that was great. That was absolutely great. And Jesus getting a brace. Do you know, one from open play, one from a set piece, and the third goal, we know, feed the man and he will score. Feed the Glock and he will score. You know what I mean? A lovely Trivella pass from Martinelli. And look, you know, he tried to lay off Saka and it didn't really come off. He hit the back of Saka's heel, but a well taken goal in the top bins. Lovely jubbling. We will get into that. But let's talk about the game. As I said, the first half, first 20, 25 minutes, we was at them. You know, I mean, we was on the front foot right from the offset, closing down, which was really good to see. And I was just thinking, why can't we do this? Why can't we start games like this? It's so confusing that you choose a game like this. Now, look, Inter Milan, you know, they are top of the league currently. You know, I think they're on 47 points, I think, with a plus. What was it? I can't remember what their goal difference is, but I think this. I can't remember what their goal difference is, but they're right up there. Do you know what I mean? They're sitting at the top of the league. I think they've only lost 5 games in the Serie A. I think losing 2 at home and 3 away losses and 1 draw, and then the rest wins. Yeah, I mean, look, they were last year's finalists, and we comfortably beat them. Listen, they're their chances in the terms of, you know, when they transitioned on us. And I was kind of getting a little bit worried because if somebody of these players had their shooting boots on, which they didn't, I mean, Thuram, that guy, I know he was linked with it, but sorry, mate, was not good enough. Wasteful. They were absolutely wasteful in a lot of their chances that they had. And that was the thing about it. They were sort of hitting us on the transition. Do you know what I mean? But listen, we get through the game, and as I said, it was a absolutely professional win, away win. And I'm pleased. I'm especially pleased for Glock. I'm absolutely pleased for Glock because, you know, the knives have been out on him. Do you know what I mean? And yes, listen, he has to do better in certain areas. But what he does well is if he's a ball is over the top and he's running into space, then, you know, hopefully, you know, he will beat his player and, you know, put it in the back of the net. And tonight, it's to see the relief on his face, you know what I mean, and scoring that goal. I was really happy for him. Jesus, has he staked out his place for starting berth on Sunday, on Super Sunday against the Man United? Listen, he's there scoring a brace, 2 goals, as I said, a header, Trossard from the cross, where Trossard heads it back the other way, hits the crossbar, And who was there to put it in the back of the net? Lovely head in there. You know what I mean? Nothing special, but you know that's what it is. You know what I mean? It was nothing special, but that's what it was. Is. And then the first goal, nicely worked passes, really intricate passes in the box, really quick passes that it didn't give into time to set themselves, and it was laid off. I think it looked like Timber went to take a shot. At first, I thought that maybe Jesus might have been in an offside position, but as it showed from the replay that he wasn't, and it was a well taken shot, instinctive strikers goal, great, and that will do him good. That will do him good for his confidence. And you would think that would be the same for Grokkers as well. That will do him good. Now, who starts on Sunday? I don't know. I mean, you know, you look at the players that he brought on and the players that he left on the bench. I didn't think he needed to bring on Declan Rice, personally speaking. I didn't think he needed to. Look, Victor Gokres, I'm glad he come on now because he got his goal, but I didn't see the need for him, you know, to come on. Ben White came on for Ewan Timber, who had a okay game. Mascara had a good game. A little bit rash, you know, because when he plays, he likes to smother his players. A little bit anky-pie, you know what I mean? Similar to what Gabriel Mangalese does as well. Do you know what I mean? And when he was up against Fulham, he was really tight up on him. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, is he going to turn and score? But listen, they didn't have their shooting boots on, and they were terrible. As I say, they were absolutely wasteful in front of the goal. So I didn't think Declan Rice needed to come, and I think Eze needed to stay on just to get more minutes. Do you know what I mean? Yes, he needs to impose himself. I'm going to say it again. He really needs to impose himself. Again, it was not one of his best games. Yeah. But for me, the worst player for me, personally speaking, was Moreno. That guy spent half the time on the floor. That guy spent half the time losing the ball. You know, and you look at this, you just think to yourself, how on earth have you kept him on? And the thing is, you took Eze off, put Moreno in the 10, right? And you just think to yourself, give Eze the time. Do you know what I mean? Yes, he doesn't play in that kind of system that you see the Arteta ball. That's not Eze's game. He's a transitional player. You see that for Crystal Palace. So for me, I would have liked to see him stay on. I would have taken off Moreno. Do you know what I mean? That's personally speaking. That's what I would have done. Kept it as a bring on Norgard. Why could you? Because we was comfortable. Bring on Norgard. What have we bought the player for? What have we bought the player for? And so, you know, he brings him on. Not Ben White, sorry. Declan Rice ends up getting a yellow card, so he misses the next game, which it don't really matter anyway. I think somebody said that when what's the name went up to him, the manager went up to him. Arteta sort of said to him, "You know, you're going to miss the next game." And he's like, "Well, who cares?" You know what I mean, sort of thing. But look, I'm glad he's going to miss it. I don't know if it was something that he purposely done. Do you know what I mean? Because then at least he you know, he's rested. And to be honest, we're playing Kayat at home, and we should win that game. Listen, 7 out of 7, 100% record, 21 points, 18 plus 18 goal difference. You know, it looks like we're going to actually win and stay top the league stage part of this, and we've qualified for the last 16, which is good. So we can rest a lot of players when we come to play Kayat at home, you know what I mean? Because they lost to Club Brugge today. They lost at home 4-1. So we should be beating them. We should be beating them. What a shock, though. Bodo Glimt beating City. They just don't look like they were at the races, man. I don't know what's going on with him. Pep, you know, there's rumours that he could leave. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's playing on the players' minds and playing on the just in general. But they didn't look good tonight. And Rodri getting sent off for second yellow, holding the player around his neck, and he ends up getting a second yellow card straight after. Because he got the yellow card, and it wasn't long after, you know, he put his arm around the player. And their Bulldog Glimt just look really good. They look really good. I mean, I can't remember if it was a striker or their winger. I mean, he almost had a hat trick tonight. They put the ball in the back of the net 4 times. You know, obviously one of them was disallowed for an offside. But listen, that's City. They need to just do what they got to do. They play Wolves on Saturday. So listen, can Wolves upset the apple cart? You know, going into this game, their form has not been good, losing to Man United and now losing to Bodo Glimt. You know what I mean? Absolutely crazy. So for us now, yes, 100% record. We've got a massive game coming up on Sunday, Super Sunday against Man United. Now they found a bit of form. They've got their DNA back. So, you know, they play with the ball on the ground. They've got quick players. So, you know, I mean, we've got to listen. If we take the game to Man United, we beat them. Listen, yeah, fair play. Carrick is back there, and you know, he's got them playing okay at the moment. But it's still Man United. You know what I mean? So I think we will beat them. It's not going to be an easy game, but if we go into that game how we did in that Nottingham Forest game, then listen, forget it. We cannot afford to drop any more points. Yeah, you know what I mean? That Nottingham Forest game, you know, I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see that again because you look at tonight's game and you're thinking, first half, best, I want to see them for both halves for 90 minutes. We know we're not going to get that because that's how our Arteta sets up his side. But we absolutely played with the ball on the ground. We played quick transitional football and with purpose. We passed the ball with purpose, and that's what I like to see. There was a point in that first half where, when we was coming under a little bit of pressure, I think, Rhea tried to slow everything down, and the game slowed down a bit. I was thinking, why are you slowing the game down? We shouldn't be slowing the game down. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Do you know what I mean? Let's kill this team off. Do you know what I mean? Because we looked dangerous going forward, especially in that first half. The second half, as I said, it was us soaking up pressure. And look, on another day, if they had their shooting boots on or a better striker, that ball's in the back of the net. We rolled a lot at times, but at the end of the day, I mean, for their goal, it was again a catalogue of mistakes. I mean, why is Zubimendi, turning his back on the shot? Face up to the shot. Do you know what I mean? Go and block it. Don't turn your back on it. And before Rhea could get his hand to it, he was way past him. His hand in, and the ball's in the back of the net. There's nothing he could do. The shot was really powerful. And they make it 2-1. And at that point, you're thinking, Arsenal now need to get back into the game. That's when we were trying to slow it down, take control of the game. But we sped it back up again. And then I said, second half, we soaked up the pressure, hit them on the break with a nice, as I said, Trivela pass for Martinelli. And it goes over the top. My guy runs on it. Vic runs onto it. Glock runs onto it. First touch wasn't brilliant, but he was able to sort of have it under control. And then obviously he could see Saka making a run, so he's decided, well, I'm going to pass to you. It wasn't a very good pass. It hits the back of his heel, and fortunately, Saka gets an assist. What a lucky assist! He gets another assist, so that's another little bonus in his back pocket. But a well-taken goal by Glock, and the celebration this time, it wasn't like a short one. You know what I mean? And it was great to see his teammates come around him and just to celebrate with him. And listen, it was a fantastic and professional away win away at Inter Milan. And so, listen, we move on to Sunday. Big game, absolutely massive game. We have to win that. I'm glad because we're going to go into that game, because my worry about this game was that there was a possibility that if we lost the game or didn't play well, you didn't want to take that form going into going into the Super Sunday. I didn't want to see us, either losing the game badly or anything like that. Because, as I say, it's not an easy place to go to. Inter Milan set up really well. The well-drilled side, but listen, 3-1, fantastic. Can't complain. Moreno wasn't good. Zubimendi wasn't good. Do you know what I mean? If I look at the team and in terms of who I thought was good and wasn't. Saka had moments. He had little moments. Moreno, as I said, was terrible. Zubimendi. Eze needs to impose himself more in the game. Miles Lewis, I felt, had a very good game tonight. Defensively, definitely had a very good game. Mosquera had a good game. Saliba, again, as usual, stable as anything. Timber had an okay game. I mean, I'm just looking at the ratings. I mean, he got a 4.7 for One Football. Eze got the lowest as a 3.7, and Moreno got a 4.2. I would have scored Moreno lower, but that's what it is. The main thing is that we've gone to the San Siro, we've won the game, a nice professional way win, and there's not really much more to say now. Do you know what I mean? We move for Super Sunday. Listen, guys, please hit that like button, and if you're new, subscribe and share.